So I made a tier list for the teams in the Eastern Conference of the NBA. With free agency and NBA trades, the Eastern Conference teams have got stronger while others got weaker. So I put them in a tier list in a category. So the categories we have is champs, contenders, can be top six, play in, figuring it out, and fighting for their life. So first of all, we got champs. Champs, Boston Celtics. They in this tier by themselves. They're the NBA champions. They signed most of their players back. They got Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. They extended Derrick White. They still got Drew Holiday. They still got Kristaps Porzingis. Joe Mazzulla is still the head coach. All the players that got them there is back on that team. And right now, it's teams that they can contend with them, but they're on the top of this list. They're current NBA champions. It's not too much to say for them because they are the NBA champions. So they get a category by themselves. Best bench and best role players as of right now. We also got contenders. Contenders is the 76ers and the New York Knicks. So for the 76ers, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George. Big three. The 76ers actually have a legit big three. And Joel Embiid been talking about how Jason Tatum got a super team and this and that. On the slick, I'm not going to say it as of right now, but on the slick, the 76ers slick got, I won't say a super team, but they do have a great team with a good big three. If Joel Embiid go down, you still got Tyrese Maxey. You still got a great two-way player and Paul George with a silky smooth game and great defense. Then you also have good role players in the bench. You got Kelly Oubre. You got Jared McCain, Eric Gordon. I'm missing somebody. They just signed Reggie Jackson. Well, I feel like I'm missing somebody on that team. But they got great role players and a good bench. And then going to New York Knicks, you got Julius Randle, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart. Both of them teams right now being contenders and contend with the Boston Celtics because this is what I said. Just because you got the superstars, you still gotta have a great bench and a great role players to compete with them kind of teams. And both of them got great role players, great bench with great superstars, so they can compete with the Boston Celtics. Next we had can be top six. That's the Milwaukee Bucks, the Indiana Pacers, the Orlando Magic, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I know a lot of y'all will put the Milwaukee Bucks as the contenders, but to me, like if it had to be 1, 2, 3, 4, they would be 4. And the reason is just because they have the great superstars in Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard, they still got a lot of problems to figure out. They got to figure out who's going to be that main star at times. Some people say Giannis, other people say Dame. They trying to figure out who should be it. They still don't got the best role players. They don't got the best bench to compete with them top 3 teams I just named. They still got to figure out coaching. They got a whole year now to figure it out with the offseason. But it's a lot of things to figure out about that team that I don't think people is realizing. A lot of people just go off where they got Giannis and they got Dame. They'll figure it out. As much as I love Dame, and a lot of people say this also, Dame can sometimes be a defensive liability. And we've seen what just happened with Luka Doncic, him being the best player on that team, but going against the Boston Celtics. So that's the whole problem, that they just have too many questions to figure out for me to put them as contenders. And a team as a whole, that team, in my opinion, cannot compete with them top 3 teams just because if it was a 2v2 with superstars, then yeah, give me the Bucks. But as a team effort and with every single team, yeah, I'll take them 3 teams or the Milwaukee Bucks in there of the week. After that, we got the Indiana Pacers. So the Pacers, to be honest, this team to me is top 6, but they're missing a piece for me to be like they're contenders. I don't know what, like with the trades and free agency that the Bucks, not the Bucks, that's another thing. The Bucks are NBA free agent loser right now. They haven't really done nothing in free agency. I think they got Torian Prince, but that's about it. But the Knicks and the 76ers, they did stuff to make their team better. Right now, they did extend Andrew Nembhard, but the Pacers are kind of just standstill. I got to really watch their game to see what they're exactly missing. But I do know that Tyrese Halliburton, as long as he stay healthy, because he's playing good, got hurt. It took him a minute to get back to his normal game and the flow of things. But as long as he stay healthy, Siakam play how he was, Miles Turner play how he was, Andrew Nembhard play how he was, that whole team will be good. After that, we got the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic, okay, they're not. I don't know if we're gonna consider them as a young team, but that team is in the works of making something great. They went to a game seven with the Cleveland Cavaliers, even though the Cleveland Cavaliers can be pretty underwhelming. They went to a game seven with them. Paulo Banchero, Franz Wagner. That team can make something shape. I believe in Anthony Black, and I feel like he would get a game going soon. Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs. I do like that Magic team. And I feel like once they get a little more experience and they keep balling and probably get some, I think they should get some veteranship and get some vets and maybe get one more superstar that will come to Orlando and play with Paulo Banchero. That team can get somewhere and probably get a deeper run into the playoffs. And then behind that, we got Cleveland Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell signed back with them. They still got Evan Mobley, still got that same team. They just play pretty underwhelming. Like, you know what you're going to get with them. Like, it's another team that I'm going to talk about that you're going to know what you get out of them. But you're just going to know what you get with the Cleveland Cavaliers. You get to the playoffs, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose the playoffs. That's just how it is. And I don't know what it is with the Cavaliers. Like I said, they just play pretty underwhelming. They should have went to a Game 7 with their Atlanta Magic. I had them win it in Game 5, Game 6, but the fact that they went to a Game 7, and they didn't win no road game. All the games was won at home. So that makes me think, if Orlando Magic had the higher seed and went to Game 7 in Orlando, would the Cavaliers lost? And they went to Boston, and they lost that. So, like I said, the Cavaliers can be pretty underwhelming at times. The category under that is the play-in. Miami Heat, Chicago Bulls, the Hornets, the Raptors, and the Hawks. And with all these teams, before I get into individually, with all these teams, you know what you're getting out of all these teams. These teams are play-in caliber teams, especially the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat, they will do great in the playoffs, but they got to go through the play-in to get to the playoffs. And I don't know what it is with them, why they just can't play good in the regular season. And I know injuries sometimes do affect them, but as long as they play good in the regular season and not can play good in the playoffs, they wouldn't be considered play-in. But as of right now, they are considered play-in because that's what you're going to get out of them. Now, teams that I do think is considered play-in and can sometimes shock people, as of right now, I do like the Hornets. I think the Hornets, the way Miles Bridges played, if LaMelo can stay healthy, and we also got Brandon Miller. I almost forgot his name for real. Brandon Miller. And I'm sorry if my speech sounds a little sketchy. I'm trying to talk these braces. I just got braces, so I'm trying to get used to talking with them. That's why the podcast episodes has been a little late coming out. But the Hornets, as long as everything go right, that team stay healthy, they play their offense, they play defense, they will get to play-in. Now, they still got a lot of stuff to figure out talent-wise to compete with the upper teams, but they can get to the playoffs and probably get to the first round of the playoffs, but I don't know that they probably first round exits, to be honest. And then after that, we have, before that, we got the Chicago Bulls. So the Bulls, they still got Zach LaVine, but they're trying to get rid of him. They got Kobe White, Vucevic. I just think with the Bulls are just a play-in team. That's what you're going to get out of them. I don't think they're not good enough to be contenders, top 6 and champs, but they're not trash enough to be figuring it out. Well, they could be figuring it out. They could be in the category of figuring it out. But I think they're better than the figuring out team that I got. The team that I got in figuring out is the Brooklyn Nets, and that's Nets category. And I think they're better than them or got it more put together than the Nets right now. So we're going to leave them in play-in. But you know what you're getting out the Chicago Bulls. And I feel like once they get another superstar and get a Raps, and also as long as their players stay healthy, the Bulls is a good team. Now, I believe after that is the Toronto Raptors. Now that team, another team, you can call them young now. Pretty much Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, you can call them young. You can call them young. That is a young team. And with that team being so young, they're figured out. They're putting Scotty Barnes and making him their guy. So I think that team can be playing. They can get to first round too, probably a first round exit. But they figure it out with defense, offense as a team as a whole. Because they're basically going through a rebuild. and a rebrand, but not starting all over because Scotty Barnes has been hooping. Before Pascal Siakam got traded, Scotty Barnes pretty much was that second guy, and sometimes was the first guy. So I'm not mad. Let me just double check something real quick. Yeah. Yeah, thought so. So yeah, I think the Scotty Barnes and the Raptors will figure some out and can be a play-in tournament. After that, it's the Atlanta Hawks. Now, this is what I've been ready to talk for. The Atlanta Hawks, even though they don't have the Johnson Murray right now, they still got Trae Young, and we know how Trae Young can be in the playoffs. The Atlanta Hawks are the definition of a 50-50 best mid team. You know what you're getting out of them. They're not the best team, but they dang sure not the worst team. They're the definition of 50-50 straight down the middle. And that's why they're playing. Because they're not super trash and not super good. They'll get you into the play-in. They might get your first round exit. They might get your second round exit. That's a team that can shock you. They just won't get to the championship. But they can shock you, and the definition of a 50-50 team. And that's really what playing is. We're not too trash, but we're not too good. That's why we're not out of the playoffs, and that's why we're not in the playoffs. So I think the Hawks is the definition of a playing team and 50-50, and they're the most guaranteed to be in the play-in. Even though they don't have Dejounte Murray, Jalen Johnson, Trae Young, they still have the team to compete. They just got get his name wrong so much, but Zachary Richardson, I think that's how you say it, Richardson. They got him too. His summer league wasn't the best, but I do think he'll be a great role player, and we see how they go during the season. So yeah, the Hawks are a playing team. Now for the category of figuring it out, I got the Brooklyn Nets. They just signed Killian Hayes, and we all know Killian Hayes, a former guard for the Pistons. We all know how he can be. I just think they're figuring it out. They don't got Mikal Bridges no more. They still got Cam Thomas, great scorer, but they got to add Cam Thomas some help. They just got too much figured out, and Killian Hayes is not the help you need for Cam Thomas. It's a lot going on with that Nets, and once they add something to the Nets team, they'll be in shape and be in some type of contention. But as of right now, I don't see them getting to the play-in or playoffs. But they also... The last category I have is fighting for their life, and I don't think the Nets are fighting for their lives. They're just figuring things out. Now, fighting for their life is Detroit Pistons and the Washington Wizards. Now, I'm going to talk about the Pistons first. I said last year, the Pistons are not trash as made it seem. Their record, yes, but they was fighting in them games, and all them games, except for like the teams that we knew was way too good, was pretty close. Now, they just put up Tobias Harris. They still got Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duran. I think that team will do better than what they did last year. Now, the real team that I feel like is straight garbage is the Washington Wizards. Now, they just picked up Alex Sarr out of the draft, second overall pick. And I kept saying that he was picked up by the Pistons, but no, he picked up by the Wizards. He might be a bust. We keep talking about Bronny, how Bronny this and Bronny that. Alex Sarr, after watching that summer league, we're going to see how he played in the league. But watching that summer league, he might be a bust. Jordan Poole didn't play that good. Kyle Kuzma played good, but still got a lot of work to do with that Wizards team, and they got to add him some help. And Alex Sarr, as of right now, does not seem like the help that they need. So it's a lot of things that they're figuring out, and they're not figuring out. They're going to be fighting for their lives. That's the guaranteed lottery picks. They're going to be lottery pick teams. And they have to figure a lot of that out because, bruh, yeah, if I had to go off prediction, who would have the worst record in the NBA, not just the East, the NBA, it would be the Washington Wizards. Just because it's too much for them. They got to, it's the same thing I said for the Bucks. The Bucks got stuff to answer, questions to answer and figure out. The Wizards have everything in the world to figure out with that team, and I just don't think they're better than Detroit Pistons. And with them adding Tobias Harris, Cade Cunningham, I don't think at all that they're better than the Detroit Pistons. So yeah, the Wizards have a lot to figure out. Next, I'm gonna be doing a tier list for the NBA West, and we're gonna see how that goes.